The landscape of U.S. immigration policy has once again come under intense scrutiny as a wave of enforcement actions under President Trump's administration has resulted in the detention and potential deportation of students, scholars, and legal residents. These cases have ignited debate over the intersection of immigration enforcement and political activism, with critics arguing that recent crackdowns have disproportionately targeted individuals engaged in protests and dissenting political views. Welcome to In the Know News, where we bring you the stories that shape the world. Today, we examine the alarming cases of individuals caught in the shifting tides of U.S. immigration policy and the broader implications for human rights and civil liberties. One of the most high-profile cases involves Yunso Chung, a 21-year-old green card holder and Columbia University student from South Korea. Chung, who has lived in the United States since she was 7, now faces deportation after being arrested for participating in pro-Palestinian protests at Barnard College. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE agents raided her university housing in connection with an ongoing criminal investigation into Columbia University, citing a warrant under the harboring statute. Despite not being a leading figure in the protests, the administration has justified her deportation by claiming her presence undermines U.S. foreign policy, an argument used in a similar case involving Mahmoud Khalil. On March 24th, Chung took legal action against the administration, filing a lawsuit to challenge the deportation proceedings. Khalil, a former graduate student at Columbia and a green card holder, was arrested under comparable circumstances. Authorities claim his continued presence in the U.S. is a threat to national interests, fueling concerns that deportation actions are being weaponized against politically active individuals. His case, along with others, signals an alarming shift in how green card holders and visa students are treated, particularly those who engage in activism. Beyond Columbia University, this crackdown extends to other institutions, including Cornell University. Mamadou Tall, a doctoral student and British Gambian citizen, now faces imminent deportation after his involvement in a protest against arms manufacturers at a career fair. Tall, who remains in the U.S. on a student visa, was instructed by ICE to surrender himself. His legal team has since launched a lawsuit to fight the deportation, marking yet another case where immigration enforcement appears to be disproportionately targeting student activists. The aggressive stance against international scholars has also ensnared Ranjani Srinivasan, a Fulbright scholar from India. Srinivasan's visa was revoked on March 5th, following her participation in protests over human rights violations in Gaza. ICE agents attempted to detain her 2 days later, but after a dramatic confrontation at her residence, she fled to Canada. The Department of Homeland Security later accused her of supporting Hamas, a claim her legal team vehemently denies. For some, even minor past legal infractions have led to serious consequences. Fabian Schmidt, a German electrical engineer and green card holder, was detained at Logan Airport in Boston on March 7th upon returning from Europe. Despite his green card status, he was subjected to hours of intense interrogation, during which he reportedly collapsed from stress. ICE officials cited a past misdemeanor marijuana charge, one that had been dismissed, as justification for his detention. His case underscores how minor infractions, even those dismissed years ago, can be used as grounds for deportation under the current administration's policies. Families are not immune to the reach of immigration enforcement either. Camila Munoz, a Peruvian immigrant, was detained while returning to Wisconsin from her honeymoon in Puerto Rico. Despite having a pending green card application, she was separated from her American husband and transported to an ICE facility in Louisiana. Her husband, who had voted for Trump in the 2024 election, expressed shock at how swiftly the system moved against her. Perhaps most distressing is the case of a 10-year-old U.S. citizen receiving treatment for brain cancer in Texas. While traveling to Houston for medical care, her undocumented parents were detained at an immigration checkpoint and swiftly deported. The child, left in limbo, faced potential disruptions to her life-saving treatment, highlighting the devastating collateral damage of rigid immigration policies. International visitors, too, have found themselves caught in the crackdown. Jessica Brusche, a German tattoo artist, was detained for 46 days in the Otay Mesa Detention Center after arriving with tattoo equipment, which ICE officials took as evidence of unauthorized work intent. Similarly, Lucas Seelaf, a German tourist, was detained at the U.S.-Mexico border after his ESTA travel authorization was revoked due to a misunderstanding in questioning. His fiancée had to pay nearly $3,000 to facilitate his deportation back to Germany. These cases, along with that of Jasmine Mooney, a Canadian entrepreneur who was shackled and detained for 12 days without a clear reason, illustrate the breadth of the administration's immigration enforcement measures. Critics argue that these actions lack transparency and often result in unjust detentions that leave individuals with few options for legal recourse. What do these incidents reveal about the current state of U.S. immigration policy? For many, they paint a picture of an unpredictable and increasingly aggressive enforcement system, one that targets individuals not just for legal infractions, but also for their political affiliations, past records, and, in some cases, sheer misinterpretation of immigration laws. The lack of due process, the harsh conditions in detention centers, and the absence of clear guidelines for enforcement leave many wondering whether these policies are truly about national security or something more politically motivated. As international scrutiny grows, the question remains, is this the new normal for immigrants, students, and visitors to the United States? While legal battles continue to play out in courts, these cases stand as stark reminders of how swiftly and severely immigration enforcement can alter lives. This is In the Know News, bringing you the latest in-depth coverage on issues that matter. Stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, question everything.